It is still morning. Okay, good morning, everyone. So last week, Amy Sensei talked about how one of the best parts of faith is knowing that we're not alone in our suffering, because Kami-sama is always with us, right? Kami cannot take away all of our suffering, but it's a lot more manageable when Kami is helping us, either by comforting us or making the actual thing less severe than it could have been. In the case of the founder, he discovered later on that the throat ailment that he had when he first realized Kami's true nature was actually supposed to kill him. But because of his faith and his humility, Kami-sama spared his life. And that allowed him to continue practicing faith for all of us. So there's a teaching that says relying on Kami regularly is the same as being friends with Kami. Kami will even listen to your unacceptable requests. Kami will turn major misfortunes into minor ones and then sweep them away. And I'll come back to the major misfortunes to minor ones on another day, because I really do like that part. But when I was reading it recently, the second sentence is what really stuck out to me this time. Kami will even listen to your unacceptable requests. That was the line that really struck a chord with me recently. So a few weeks ago, I had mentioned how it can be really exhausting hanging out with people who are full of negativity, right? However, venting your problems or your feelings is actually a good thing in small doses, right? I know that there's a bunch of teachings where the founder reminds us that if you practice faith really hard, you should never get angry. But I'm definitely not there yet. So I'm hoping some of you are also not there yet with me. So releasing that negativity allows you to move past it and get back to being happy and grateful, right? Instead of holding it in, we just have to get rid of it and move on. And I think we all do this with our friends, our family, and our coworkers. For those of us who feel comfortable and are able to speak and pray directly to Kami-sama, we can vent to Kami whenever we want, right? You can do this in your head or say it out loud if you want. But it's the intentional act of calling on Kami that matters, right? It's not just having a random thought. It's intentionally directing that random thought to Kami. It's not just saying things out loud. It's intentionally saying it to Kami. Charlie Brick. It's the intention that matters. That's why we clap our hands before and after we start prayers, right? It's getting Kami's attention. And at a recent family function, I had one of the little kids who come and actually ask me, why do we clap our hands? Because he's part of a Christian faith, so they don't do that at their church. And so I had to think about it. I was like, okay, so you are signaling your intention to pray both to Kami and ourselves, right? It's also centering yourself into the thought of praying. And so you can clap your hands if you're going to do this venting session with Kami-sama, or you don't have to. It's the intentional part, right? And sometimes this venting looks like you bowing your head at your desk and quietly whispering furiously before taking a deep breath, saying thank you, and moving on with whatever you were working on before. Not saying that I've done this week, but it's an example. For those who feel less comfortable praying directly to Kami or need that in-person interaction, like talking to an actual human being, that's of course where the mediation desk and ministers come in, right? Mediation is praying to Kami through the divine spirit of our founder, Ikigami Konko Daijin, who is represented by the minister sitting at the mediation desk, Okekai, right? So I know where the mediation desk is a sacred place, right? It's a place of praying and it's a place of Kami. But there's actually a bunch of ministers who refer to it as a spiritual toilet. which is just a great metaphor if you think about it. Because if you don't use the bathroom, you'll fill up with bad stuff and feel sick because of it, right? You need to routinely use the washroom to release anything that's not supposed to be there, and you feel so much better afterwards. So we can view the mediation desk as a place to unload all of our negativity, all of our complaints, anything bad, and pray for something better. And I think if you do it frequently, you'll find that you're feeling that relief afterwards, and it helps make you better spiritually, physically, mentally, all that stuff, right? It cleanses your spirit. So that's all like the negative part, or Kami will listen to your unacceptable requests, because sometimes our negativity is unacceptable, but Kami will take it anyways. Kami doesn't care. And the first part of the teaching is about being friends with Kami, right? Back to the idea of venting to the people around you. This only really works if you have a good relationship with that person. If you're venting to someone who you don't have a good relationship with, they're going to just find it really annoying, right? They're not going to understand where you're coming from. They're not going to accept this negativity from you. And you have to maintain a good relationship with them through more than just a venting session. You need to show up for them. You have to listen, help them when they ask for help, and be kind. If someone you barely know asked you to come help, you might because you're a good person. But if it's really inconvenient, you might not, right? And similarly, Kami-sama will always help us when we pray, no matter what. But we are more likely to receive better help, or maybe more obvious help, if we are on better terms with Kami-sama. And we can, of course, do this by talking and praying to Kami-sama, doing our best to be the best version of ourselves, and doing goyo helps too, right? Because it's a physical way of showing our gratitude to Kami through service to Kami, right? That's what goyo is. So no matter which way you choose to vent to Kami, whether it's directly or through another person, Kami will always hear it and always accept your negative thoughts. Ideally, through faith, we will get to a point one day where we will learn to just be grateful for more and more things and have less and less negativity in our lives. We will learn to communicate better with Kami. But remember, Kami doesn't expect perfection from us. We try our best. We move forward. Sometimes we take a couple steps back, but we keep trying, and Kami will always be there for us. And I'm hoping that you will also find comfort in knowing that you're never truly alone, no matter where you are in this journey. So thank you very much.